Alright everybody, allXefflette here, and I'm back to bring you week 9 of the KDF Marathon Strength Training Program. So again, I broke this into two little clips here so you can see each workout 1 and 2. Pause if you need to, and again I'm going to show you the exercises. But this week we have a new model. We have Chris from our Chenoweth clinic, and he's one of my other coaches. So let's get going. First up we have tuck jumps. So you're going to see Chris here jump, bring his knees towards his chest, and then land as soft as possible. And then from this side view here, you can see it a little bit better. He's going to keep his torso upright, land on his whole foot, but make sure he pushes off those toes. Then up next we have some lateral lunges, and then finally he's going to show you some rotational lunges at the end. But this is one that we've done before. Step to the side, reach down towards your foot while you keep your back flat. Now for the rotational lunge he's going to show you here in a second, you're going to turn back and away. So that foot that's moving is going to turn 90 degrees away from the front foot. Two big things here. The leg that didn't move, his knee is straight. And really, I just want to say it again, he's keeping his back perfectly flat the whole time. And then up next we have our forward monster walk. Now we've done just a normal monster walk where you're just stepping to the side. Now with this forward one, you're really stepping 45 degrees to the side and forward. Then we have a little appearance from our PT Mike back there. But if you look at that leg that's not moving, he's keeping that knee over his foot. And that's really important so that we actually get good glute activation. And then he's keeping his chest upright and his knees bent the whole time. Now onto our upper body, we have the kneeling face pull. Now it doesn't matter which knee is down here. I just like to alternate mine each set. You're going to keep the elbows up though, draw them back, squeeze your shoulder blades down and back again, and then just slowly release forward. From this position you can kind of see how Chris is bringing his shoulder blades really close together and then just relaxing as his hands come forward. Now if you're not feeling this down below your shoulder blades, you're probably shrugging up. Try and keep your shoulder blades as far away from your ear as possible. Up next we have our upper body push. Now Chris here is going to do 3 of these close push-ups and then 3 wide push-ups. Now when I do my narrow push-ups personally, I like to have my hands right inside my shoulders. And right here is going to show you an alternated version here. Close and then a wide push-up again. The wide push-up can just be a normal stanced push-up. It doesn't have to be extra wide. Moving on to our core here, we have some plank churns. Now you want to keep the hips high with this, and I always tell people to really focus on moving your elbows. If you focus on pushing your hands, the ball's going to probably slip out from underneath your hand. Now this can be pretty tough, so I always recommend starting closer as opposed to further out. And as you can notice from the side here, Chris's back is really flat, and his hips are just below his shoulders here. Alright, and last up, we just have a cable oblique rotation. Now this doesn't need to be super heavy. Notice that Chris's knees are both pushed out. He's in a small squat. And his hips really don't move much. He's really keeping the elbows straight and just turning the shoulders. Nice and smooth each way. And you will have to do both sides for this. So he's just showing you one side. You'll also have to flip around and do the other one as well. Alright guys, on to workout 2. We do have a couple new things, but it shouldn't be too crazy. Some of this stuff is definitely some old standards we've done. Alright, so we're doing our old-fashioned goblet squat. We're just going to pause at the bottom here. Again, keep the chest up, push the knees apart, and squat down as low as you can. Now Chris shows you a really good squat from this side view here. He starts his squat from the knees and drops his butt straight down, and that's really important so that you're not sitting your butt back too far. Alright, and then up next we have our alternating lunge jumps. You're going to start with a pretty long stance so that your feet aren't too close. You're going to try and keep your chest upright, drop down into that lunge, and then jump as high as you can. It doesn't need to be a huge jump. We're really working on those landing mechanics, just like all the other times that we're doing any jumping here. And try and keep your weight pretty even through your front and your back foot. That's a good key to focus on here. Alright, and then we have a hip thrust again. This time we're going to use a band up at the knees. Take a little more narrow of a stance, and remember that bench should be just below your shoulder blades. So you're going to bridge your butt up, keep your stomach tight, and then at the very top you're going to push your knees apart, come back in, and then drop down again. Now notice that Chris actually keeps his chin tucked the entire time. That's really important so that you don't just let your low back lose tension, and it's going to help focus more on the glutes themselves.
One more.
Alright, and then we're going to switch it up and go to our upper body. So we're going to do dumbbell rows here. Notice that Chris is hinged at the hip, so his chest should be facing directly down to the ground. You're going to just pull the elbow to the side, squeeze your shoulder blade towards the middle of your back, and then let it down slow. If this position's a little hard on your low back, just stand a little more upright, maybe about 45 degrees or so. That should ease up on your back. Alright, and then another exercise we've done before, this half kneeling overhead press. Notice that the hand that he's pressing with, that's the knee that's down. Chris is keeping his stomach tight, he's squeezing that cheek so his hip is forward, and notice that he's not swaying side to side at all. Especially when I move the camera here, you can really see he's staying totally upright as he presses that weight over his head. Alright, and then moving on to our core, we have our hollow body hold. Now with this one, you're just going to crunch up slightly, lift the feet up off the ground, and just hold that position. If this is pretty darn tough, all you have to do, just like Chris did there, is bring your knees a little more towards your chest. That's going to ease up on some of the difficulty here. And just make sure that you're really trying to push your belly button down into the ground.
And rest.
Alright, we do have another new exercise. So this is just really a crunch. You're just going to bend that one leg where the weight is in your hand. So from there, you're just going to crunch up, keep that weight directly over your shoulder, and then slowly lower back down. Now you don't actually have to use the weight. If that's too much of a progression, just take the weight out and just put your hand directly up into the air.
There you go.
And that's it for this week, guys. Let me know how everything's going. Leave a comment below or shoot me an email if you have any questions.